Man, what a momentous occasion. What a momentous day, Gabe.
We got a damn good show for y'all.
Do we got a good show for y'all?
Well.
Do we?
Well. Either way, we appreciate people coming in to hang out, We did it. We got our guy. He's right underneath Sundo, looking stern, right between Book and Ayton.
Ooh, whoa, balls. Underneath Sundo.
All right?
Whoa.
I mean,
whoa.
Not in the way he'd like to be, but welcome in, everybody. What's going on, everybody in the chat? We got Devin Booker in the house. We got Turtles, Jose O.
Yes.
Goat NBA.
Good
Jose
to see everybody
O.
in the chat, man. Good to see everybody in the chat, bro.
Dat homie says, thank God we didn't get horny Doc Rivers. I added the horny, but it all remains the same. Thank God we didn't get Doc Rivers, bro.
I mean, yes, I agree wholeheartedly. I did not want Doc. He was definitely the bottom of my list, believe it or not. Like, even below Kevin Young and the assistant from Sacramento, like, was 100% against Doc Rivers. Like, that was not the guy we needed.
It's just like, at what point has he proven that he can't get it done?
Right.
Like, how many times does he have to go up 3-1 in a series before you're just like, all right, dude, like, we don't want you,
Right, man.
But he's a big name. He's a big name. So I think he deserved to be looked at. But
we got our guy, though. We got our guy,
dude.
though.
I mean, it's not our guy. Let's be fair.
You know what I mean.
We both wanted Nurse. We both wanted Nurse, right?
We both wanted Nurse. Yes.
It's a lot easier to deal with this. No, first of all, this was my second choice. So I don't know 100% for a fact that Vogel isn't the better option than Nick Nurse. I'm not that up on the coaches.
I don't blame you on that. There's a lot of things that we talked about pregame about Vogel that give us positive reasons, right?
Yeah.
Give us real positive reasons, man. Like, we could talk about it here in a minute, but like,
Nurse picked them, and that's a lot easier than us going eeny, meeny, miny, mo, not you, Nurse. You, Kevin Young. I did not want that.
That is true.
At least we didn't make the decision. We didn't say no to him. He said no to us. I can accept that. I can handle that.
Yeah, you can accept that. You can't accept us fumbling the bag and like being like, you know what, Nurse.
If he's like, please let me come coach Booker and Durant, pretty please. And we're like, no, we got Kevin Young and he's balding in the back but refuses to shave his head, so we're gonna let him take over. No. I mean, and that's where my resentment lies for him.
Nick Nurse, the Sixers made sense, though. It really did. Man, snagging already with the $2 super chat. Says,
what up,
Yodi
snagging? Yodi gang. Need I say more? Snagging? I need to show you that later. It's ridiculous.
Okay, you do that.
So we got Patrick Mahomes. We got Caesar in the house. Talk about how he wants Ayton gone. Suns Valley. Got Jake up in here. What's up, guys? Landon
we
Cross.
Already got 45 watching. People, hit that like button as you file it in here. Hey, 45 is better. I thought we were only going to get like 20. I'm not going to lie. This is a sort of...
Don't be disrespectful.
I'm going to be honest with you, bro, because it was a last minute stream. Well, it's Friday. People got stuff to do.
Suns fans have this on their mind. This is true. This just happened today. My bro Chris in the house. What's up, man? So yeah, thanks for the dono snagging, by the way. So no Nurse, second best choice, definitely was Vogel for me. Third, I was gonna say that Jordy Fernandez.
Yes.
Fourth, Kevin Young. Fifth, Doc Rivers. Would you agree?
In that order, yeah. In particular, I though was really intrigued by the Kevin Young prospect. I really was.
Why?
because it's just you hear how he was endorsed by Booker. Booker didn't like him. Now you could say that's not a good thing if he's endorsed by Booker. You could argue that because Booker maybe wanted somebody who's comfortable with that he could probably just get over on, right? Like you could look at it that way. Or you could look at it as Booker endorsed him because he was the one that was in Monty's ear about playing all the players that we said that needed to be played, but Monty refused. But then when he eventually played them, he was like, oh, wait, they can play. And I'm pretty sure Kevin Young was the one who put that in his ear. So
before I forget,
at least we have that much. So like I was kind of intrigued by the Kevin Young prospect that maybe he was the one with the fresh ideas and Monty just didn't listen to him because it's Monty.
Before I forget, I just want to say, does it not feel kind of nice to know that we're the only team so far to get 2 games on the Nuggets?
I was going to text you that, but
feels good.
Feels but I didn't want to be that guy that was like, "Oh, look at our participation trophy." But but to your point, since we're gonna talk about it before we talk about Frank Vogel, yes. To the point, we are the only team in the playoffs to have gotten 2 games on the Nuggets.
And truly, if Kevin Durant wasn't high on butane gas,
it would have went 7
game
games.
2, we would have been up 3-1. It might not have gone 7 games. We would have been up 3-1.
And yeah, you're right. And so that is something to be positive about. After feeling down, but after seeing what the Nuggets have done to everybody, including us, but we went 6 games at least, it's a positive, right? Because it's looking like they're about to be the NBA champion. It's looking like they're about to be the NBA champion, and there's no shame in losing the NBA champion.
They could sweep the Heat. They might 4-1 them. If they 4-1 them, you're able to say, hey, you know those champs that cakewalked all the way to the finals? We're the only teams to steal 2 games, and we should have had them down 3-1 with no bodies, just 36, quote unquote. Yep. That's all we had. Because Ayton no-showed. He basically tapped out after game 1 versus Joker, and Chris Paul was injured game 2. Mm-hmm. So
we lost by 10 in game 2.
So maybe we're not
that negative burger. Maybe we're not such a bad team. Maybe we just need a few more pieces. Maybe it wasn't that bad. And a less stubborn coach. And speaking of a less stubborn coach, let's go ahead and talk about it. Frank Vogel. How you feeling? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Pros and cons, all that stuff. What do you think about it?
I like, personally, first of all, before I forget, also, we have a little bit of a announcement to make. All right. We have. This ain't we got a sponsorship announcement. This isn't we're with Mint Mobile, but then we're going to be too lazy to actually sign with Mint Mobile. It ain't that. It's actually pretty exciting for us, so stay tuned for that. I just want to throw that out there so somebody will remind me later so we don't forget.
This is a legitimately, I'm looking in the camera, legitimately, this is a great announcement.
We're freaking stoked, but help us out. Let's try to get. We just want to wait till we get more people in here because we want to tell as many people as we can. Anyways, sorry about that.
Yes, Frank Vogel.
Frankie V. Okay, I always admired him when he was with the Pacers.
Yes.
He, they say his offensive system isn't that great. Whatever. Their defensive system, pretty damn nice. Okay.
Yes.
He gave LeBron trouble on the way to his finals appearances in the East.
He did.
So I always looked at him as this is a legitimate coach you could win with. He can't get past LeBron, but who can? Are we going to sit here and talk about all the players that Jordan kept from winning a title? Like, coaches and players are going to have to settle for second best.
Not just LeBron, prime
LeBron.
Miami Heat. I'm 260, probably 270 pound. Tight end running down the court.
We stacked the odds by all taking less money so we could have the biggest big 3 of all time. LeBron couldn't get past that. Yeah. No sweat off his nuts. All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, his only crime on being the coach of that Pacers team was losing to prime LeBron James. If you go look at that Pacers team, bro, at that time, because remember, at that time, the big player on that team, oh man, who was it? It was like
PG.
George Hill.
It was
no.
George.
Before PG, who was the other one on the team? It was Hill, Paul George,
Hibbert.
Hibbert.
Before we forgot how to play basketball.
Yeah, but who was? Oh my gosh! Now I'm really
somebody in the chat help remind us.
Really blanking on this team, bro. I really am. Hold on.
Look up that team.
Hold on. I'm looking it up. Danny Granger.
Granger was goated.
It was Danny Granger was the big one.
Oh man!
Before Paul George showed up, right?
Yeah.
So that team was, if you think about it, was real stacked. I said snag because Snag and K became a horseman, or he's
it's his 1 month member.
1 month member.
Message.
Swaldo better. Appreciate you, bro. Yes, thank you so much. And if anybody wants to become a member, hey, hit that membership button. We're always looking for more. But back to that Danny Granger and Paul George, Roy Hibbert,
Lance Stevenson, hell of a defender himself.
Darren Collison. Like, come on, bro. Like that team was really good. That team was really good. And you can argue that he was part of the development of
and building
Paul
process.
George.
Yes.
Paul George.
Here's the thing about Nurse. Here's the one of a couple of perhaps flaws with Nurse. You know what they always said about Nurse?
Okay.
You know what they said about Nurse is he doesn't develop a bench and he runs his players into the ground. He plays his starters, and that's two problems that the Suns are having this very offseason, or this very playoffs. Now,
very last two seasons.
Yes. So
last two seasons
it would have been more of that same thing. Go on.
Yeah. So you could argue that he had a good hand in the development of Paul George becoming an all-star. We literally watched him during the Frank Vogel era become a star. He made Roy Hibbert an all-star. Think about that for a minute. Roy Hibbert. We have not heard that name since those playoff series. That dude fell off the face of the earth. Hibbert was a star and a force to be reckoned with while he was coaching him. So there's always that. So in that era, at least of the Indiana Pacers, like Frank Vogel, I agree with you, was a great coach. He had a big hand in all of that. We're not going to talk about his Orlando Magic.
Yeah. He goes to Orlando, but like who goes to Orlando and succeeds? What are we doing here?
Exactly. So then he goes to where? LA Lakers and coaches the bubble team, the bubble championship. Now, here's one thing that I find hilarious about the bubble championship, because me and you both have mocked the bubble. You both have mocked the bubble championship. But here's the deal. I told you this. I said I'm tired of NBA fans because y'all NBA fans are funny, bro. Like, you guys are the worst. No, I'm not. No offense. Like, you guys are just worse
compared
than
to NFL.
Compared to NFL fans, which is my two favorite sports. But like, so I was on Bleach Report, which by the way is just a complete toxic pool. Don't ever search through it unless you just want to get mad. But there was a lot of people saying L higher. And I'm like, these are the same Lakers fans and people who want to give LeBron his props for the bubble championship. So is it really an L higher?
I would say give me a coach that was able to get his team mentally prepared and sustained during the bubble when a lot of the players didn't want to be there. He was able to help keep the rest of that roster.
Yep.
And obviously LeBron wanted to be there because he wanted to get a sneaky, cheeky championship. But this is a coach who was able to keep it together. So defense first with him.
Okay.
Right?
And so exactly. And so here's my question about Frank Vogel. Let's just erase the Orlando Magic tenure from history because it's the Orlando Magic. What are his biggest crimes in his coaching career? As a Pacers head coach or the Lakers head coach, what are his biggest crimes? One, losing to LeBron James at prime LeBron James. Okay. Not only that, it was LeBron James with the Heat, then LeBron James freaking on the Cavs. LeBron never left the East. So there's that. That's crime number one. Crime number two, being the scapegoat for how Westbrook was handled.
Definitely. And other people have been let go since then, you know? Like, and Westbrook is now gone. So they thought it was Vogel. Oh, we get rid of Vogel. We get another coach in here that can handle Russ, and that it'll all work out. Nope. Had to cut Russ or trade him away to Utah, and then he ended up getting cut. But no, if you ask Lakers fans, which I asked my buddy Martine, who's a diehard Lakers fan, I was like, hey, what can you tell me about Vogel? You know, anything I should remember to say when we go live or do a video? And he's like, not much, man. He's like, I always liked him. I like, that's the sentiment towards him is, no, he was a good coach. Helped us win a title. He was a good coach. He just, you know, we kind of let him go because we thought this and then that happened. And this is not a situation where he's a disgraced coach who can't get it done. They won 52 games that bubble season and lost only 19. You know, I mean, that kind, you know, that's it's pretty nice.
So Frank
what up,
Vogel's
Secure?
here. So Frank Vogel's here. Here's our coach. Frank Vogel is known to be a defensive-minded coach, which is, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, is exactly what this team needs right now. If you watch the last 2 years with not even the last 2 years, let's just talk about this past year, because the Suns have been a decent, if not top of the line defensive team when Monty got there, when they were younger. When Monty got there, this team was known for defense.
Yes.
Mikal Bridges was there, yada, so on and so forth. This year, it seemed to be a really, really, they slipped really bad on defense this year. Wide open shots, terrible rotations,
giving up huge leads to start the first game, bit of the game. Yeah,
that was a common theme. So Frank Vogel being a defensive coach, I think is a big positive for this team. He will get them ready to play defense. He will make sure that they're in position. Rotations will be good for the most part. Here's my question to you, though. He's going to have to, on his staff, in my opinion, get some assistants that are offensive minded, that'll come up with some schemes to help him there. Because what I've read is that he has a tendency to let his teams freestyle a little bit. And as much as I love Book and KD, and they are a bucket, I don't think ISO gang is the way to go.
It isn't. It isn't.
I think this team will need some sense of an offense. Yes, ISO gang when you need it, but I think that was another problem with ours in this playoffs, was when KD or Booker wasn't on the floor, this team had no sense of direction as far as an offense goes. And that really showed, because we always had to have Booker or KD on the floor at all times with our bench. And so that's something I'm hoping to see is, you know, the offensive, somebody that he hires an offensive staff. I wouldn't be, and I told you this and you kind of rolled your eyes at me, but he's probably going to get his own guy.
This is interesting, folks. Listen to what Sundo has to say.
He's going to get his own guy, but I wouldn't mind him keeping Kevin.
Well, I'm not saying that I mind him keeping Kevin Young. It's just, I remember Kevin Young being linked to the Rockets before, Udoka got there. They were interested in looking at him. It feels like he's ready for, or he thinks he's ready, or people are elevating him to saying that he's ready for a head coaching job. So why is he going to stay? And also, it's like, you just lost this. You didn't get hired to this guy. Does he want you around? Do you want somebody? I'm going into a new business. Do I want my right-hand man to be the guy that I beat for the job? This dude might be undermining me at any point to try to wiggle his way, the same way that you could say the Lakers GM did to Magic Johnson. What's his name? The dude looks like Rob Lowe. whatever.
I don't remember.
Whatever his name is, the Lakers GM. He was walking around the Lakers. Rob Lowe Pelinka. This dude, this dude was walking around the Lakers complex like, "Hey, where's Magic? Where's Magic Johnson? Isn't he the GM and I'm just the assistant? I don't see him. Why wasn't he at the meeting today?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you want your right-hand man to be a guy that wants your job.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm just saying I wouldn't have been opposed to it, but
I'd love it.
He will get it. I think he'll get a staff or he'll have somebody around him. I think our new owner is really thorough. I did some study and did some research on our guy, Matt Ishbia, because I have no clue who he is. And,
that's what I wanted to ask you. That's what I wanted to ask you. I know you've been looking into who Matt Ishbia is.
Yes.
So did it surprise you? Because I remember what you were telling me about being innovative and stuff and wanting to be like a trendsetter and a risk taker. Were you like, whoa, Vogel, not a young buck?
Yeah, that was something that did surprise me. I thought he was going to go with somebody young, but I think his thought, since he knows ball, is he probably wanted to get a veteran who was going to keep these guys here. He probably talked to Vogel about the culture that Vogel wants to bring, because that is also something that is big with him. I've watched 3 Matt Ishbia podcast interviews on YouTube, and it wasn't even about basketball. It was about his business. And so he said, and by the way, one of the interesting things in the video is like he called his shot. He said he wanted to own an NBA team within 15 years and he did it in 2. So
damn,
that's one thing about Matt Ishbia that I thought was interesting. But
overachiever.
Yeah, a big overachiever. But he said he wants to set a a culture. Always wants a culture set. He wants to be positive, innovative, and vibrant. He wants a guy who's going to care about his players. He wants a guy who's going to treat his players well, but also also be attentive and be innovative. I think that what that's going to be is they're going to have some younger dudes in his coaching staff, to help them along if they want to be innovative. Because I just think Vogel will be set in his ways. I think Vogel will be able to set a culture, though, by the head man of a better culture, a positive culture, a culture of accountability. He will at least be able to relate to the players. He will at least be able to keep them accountable. He'll keep them in check.
And they'll look at him and say, they'll look at him and say, this dude has gotten to the finals and won it, and be a little bit more likely to adhere to what he's telling them to do in any given situation.
Right. I also think that Frank Vogel is willing to make adjustments and can make adjustments to his schemes and what he needs to do. That was another thing that Ishbia said mattered to him was, change. He always wants to change. If something's not working, you need to change it. That was always something that he mentioned. By the way, what was kind of Monty's problem?
Exactly that.
So it's no wonder why Ishbia wanted to let Monty go as a coach, because in his business mindset was, hey, you need to always constantly change. You need to constantly change. If something's not working, you need to constantly change it. And even if it is still working, you need to think of that next thing to change it to make sure that you're ahead of the game. That's always his line of thinking. That wasn't Monty's way. Monty was just set in his ways. And so it's no surprise that Ishbia, wanted him gone after that. He probably looked at that and said, well, this guy's not changing. He's got to go. We always got to be adapting. So, I got more on Matt Ishbia, but I'm not going to give that whole thing away. It's real interesting. It was real interesting hearing him talk about how he wanted to run his business and whatnot. And so I think that him being our owner is actually a positive thing, but there'll be more about that later, if you know what I'm saying. Back to Frank Vogel. So yeah, I don't.
What did you think about Monty's payday?
Good for the Pistons and good for Monty.
I think it's a perfect fit for both of them, bro.
It's a perfect hire. I think Monty is good at establishing a culture and developing young talent and encouraging that young talent. I think so. I think so.
Well,
Minus. Okay. No. I think he is. But
well.
there's only one player on this team that he didn't develop, and that was Ayton. But everybody else flourished. Cam Johnson was actually good. Mikal Bridges flourished. Like campaign flourished. Like we got to at least admit, like if it comes to the type of player that he likes, they will flourish. And so the Pistons, I think, is a perfect place for him to go. They got young players, Cade Cunningham. I think it'll be great for him. I think it'll be great for the Pistons and be great for him. I think it's a perfect place for him to go. He's free. He doesn't have to really worry about having star players other than Cade Cunningham, right? Like you're just developing Cade Cunningham in that team. Perfect place for him to go. He's going to set that culture. So good for him.
I think it's a perfect fit, man. Like those players will look at Monty the way that the Suns players used to look at Monty. Like, let me feast on this man's word like it's the gospel, because the Suns are right around where we could only dream of being. He can get us there. He might not get us all the way, but we weren't expecting that in the first place. But I know if I listen to this guy, we will get better and things will go, my career will go the way I want it to go. But him, I don't like him as a developmental coach of young players. I mean, sticks. He didn't do nothing with sticks.
Well, once again, like I said,
I guess you have to give him credit for.
It has to be his type of player. Like, yeah, he didn't develop play sticks, fine. But once again, you got to give him the credit for the Cam Johnsons, the Mikal Bridges, the we can't give him credit for Book because Book is just Book, but you got to give him credit for the campaign. Like you got to give him those types of credits. Like he is good at developing the types of players that he wants to develop.
Okay,
he's good at developing guards. You know what I mean?
Wings.
So like there's that. Like I said, he's the perfect coach for them. He's going to set that culture. He's going to develop the Cade Cunninghams of that team, and he'll get them at least into the playoffs or into a winning culture. But then eventually it'll be exactly what happened here. And
about the money,
it's a lot of money.
Highest paid coach, but I think it's great. I think part of it, I think a little bit of it is, I guess you could call it, what's it called when you, karma. He's like one of the nicest, best human beings on the planet. You get a payday, you know?
Yeah.
He deserves the payday, but also I think he denied the job. I think they offered him early in the process of coaches being hired, and he turned it down because it's Detroit. And then he didn't get the Bucks job. Then he didn't get the Sixers job. He didn't get the Houston job already. And it's like, well, these jobs are all gone. You know what? Is that offer still on the table, Detroit? I don't mind.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And now he's in Michigan. You know, God,
you think I can still get that deal from Rockefeller?
Exactly. And they were like, actually, yes, we're that hard up because it is that hard to get people to move to Detroit and live here and work here when they're going to be getting this kind of money. Like, you know, no offense to anybody that loves Detroit, but it ain't Phoenix. It's not Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm sorry.
Theo Jason, who would you prefer, Nick Nurse or Frank Vogel? Well, I think we both preferred Nurse, but Frank Vogel, I think, is the next best option.
It's the next. It's not only the next best option, but I really don't have a single problem with it. Like, if you would have told me that Matt Ishbia sat down with Nick Nurse and then sat down with Vogel, and he decided that Vogel was the better of the two, I would say I'm going to trust him on that, and I think it's close enough that I don't have an issue, and I won't complain because I'll just trust that Matt knows what he's looking for. Right. That's how close these two candidates were for me. It's not like, damn it, we didn't get Nurse. Fuck, we're fucked. Well, who else can we get? Vogel? Oh, I guess as long as it's not die. It's not like that for me. I'm very, very happy with Vogel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Matt Ishbia definitely did his due diligence. He definitely did his due diligence. He got some young guys that he wanted to interview. He got the vet coaches that he wanted to interview. He eventually went with, I think, was the right choice in every situation, now, especially after Nurse pulled his name from consideration. Durant will have Vogel fired by All-Star break and then demand a trade.
That's a LeBron fan. It's a LeBron fan.
I know what it is.
You know,
but
so here's the thing. People are asking about Caruso. People are asking about Kyrie, blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. There's going to be changes, but from what I've gleaned, do you mind if I use the word glean? From what I've gleaned is that they're acting like they're going to keep Chris Paul and Ayton. And that is a part of why Monty was let go, because maybe Ishbia saw some of me videos where I kept saying you can have one, but you can't have both. You can't have Monty and Ayton and succeed. They're fire and ice. It has to be one or the other, and he chose the talent, not the coach. So if they're going to keep Chris Paul and Ayton, bro, we got no wiggle room. We have no money. There is no money for Caruso. Okay?
Right.
We're gonna have to shave Campaign's head and give them reverse vitiligo treatments that Uncle Ruckus does to turn his skin white if we want a Alex Caruso on this team.
I'm done.
We don't got no money for anything. It's all wrapped up in a 95-year-old point guard that gets hurt every time you get into the playoffs.
Well, you know, if you didn't play that point guard, 39 minutes a game, he wouldn't get hurt. Which is what Monty did.
That's a good point. Maybe Vogel knows how to, rest his guys a little bit better. I don't know. I mean, that was a Nurse. That probably wasn't going to happen under Nurse. Maybe it will under Vogel.
We'll see. I know that this team will need a lot of rest this upcoming season. So, yeah, I don't know.
You're stuck on that vitiligo comment, aren't you?
I am.
Revoice vitiligo.
Really just got me messed up.
Uncle Ruckus claims that he's white, but he has the opposite of Michael Jackson's disease, and it's okay. Alex Caruso would be great. I'd be really excited about Caruso, but we're gonna have to figure out what free agents are actually likely.
I think. Let me put this dude in time. I'm just sick of this man already. I think. Nah, bro, you've been spamming the chat. You gotta go. Sorry, just gotta go. So I think now that the coaching hire is in place, I think moves will be made. I think that was what we're waiting on. We were waiting on a coaching hire to figure out what he wants to do, what needs to happen. Now that we got that in place, James Jones will get together. They'll figure out who needs to be moved. Yeah,
James Jones or Matt Ishbia alone in a room by himself.
Whomever. But there will be moves made. There will be moves made. I think the coach was the first thing they need to fall in place. Now they got a plan.
Joseph Smith in the house says hate the hire. While we're talking, let us know, Joseph, why. Why do you hate the hire?
Yeah, go on. I think Matt Ishbia, we've talked about, like, he's thorough. I think there's a plan set. I think he now that he's got his coach, now he's gonna talk to him. What do you need? What do you want to do? This is how we're gonna build the team. Okay, boom. Now there'll be a plan set for it. And so I think it's going to require CP3 being gone. That's just my opinion. I think CP3 is gone. I think he's gone.
I hope so, because we need the money. I hope so. We can't afford to turn the heat on in the winter. We're going to be looking at trying to and I'm fine with bringing back D-Lee. This is not a shot at D-Lee or Okogie or you know what I'm saying? We're going to have to be getting those. For anyone that doesn't know this, you can sign as many get minimum like veteran contracts as you want. You could go over the cap, if it meant it, to get little 1 point whatever $1 million deals to these players that are only going to garner that on the open market. So that's what you're looking at. You're looking at our laughable big four, which is really two. Okay. It's just 36. You've got that. You're paying a albatross of a contract to Chris Paul, an albatross of a contract to DA. So maybe you get DA to start working again in the offense or within the scape of the team. But outside of that, you're going to be buying scrap heap players.
I think that Vogel will use Ayton the way he's supposed to be used. Joseph Smith says Devin Booker wanted to pick the coach. You got to be careful with that. I think Devin Booker not picking the coach is better for the team. That's just my opinion.
Joseph, I read before we started that Devin Booker's vouching for Kevin Young was blown a little bit out of proportion. That it wasn't like he was outside the stadium of Matt Ishbia's office and like
Kevin Young.
It wasn't. It was like, yeah, I like Kevin Young. Yeah, I'd love to be coached by him.
He's
not like I have to have him.
Yeah, it was like, he's cool. It was one of those deals. He's like, hey, Book, what do you think about Kevin Young? He's cool. That's probably what happened.
And if you're worried about that, Joseph, I get it. You don't want to have to worry about Booker being spurned and deciding to leave when his contract is up or some shit like that. But keep in mind, they fired Jason Kidd, and Giannis actually was begging them to keep Jason Kidd. They bring in Budenholzer. They win a title.
Championship.
You never hear about it again.
Blazers uprise. Sundo, do you think he gets cut since his contract is only $15 million guaranteed, or do you think they're going to try to save via trade? That's a good question. I think. Here's my question: do you who wants him? You know what I mean? Like, who?
You could cut him and get some of that money back.
So that's what I'm saying. So who wants him? Like, if anybody wants him, yeah, you trade him. But I think it's going to be a deal where you got to cut him. That's just my opinion. But I think CP3 is literally the only option for you to save money. He's got to go. You got to cut him. So
what up, Adam?
Or trade him. That's just my line of thinking. You can't. I don't think you're gonna get what you think you're gonna get for DA at this point. Like, if you think you're gonna recoup any of the picks that you gave away for KD for DA, not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, that's just out the door with the way he played. Thanks for that, Monty. So with the way Ayton played, stone hand to Ayton, hands for feet Ayton, or feet for hands, feet for hands Ayton.
Now that'd be something.
I mean, he had hands for feet too. That dude was always rolling his ankle and run. Hands for feet and feet for hands Ayton. Like, it's just. But I think he's staying. But I think CP3 is the way to go. I don't see any. He says, I don't see any team wanting him to save money via trade. It'd have to be a team via cap space. You can cut him and spread his dead money for 3 years. Hey, if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. But in my opinion, love CP3. Here's one of my favorite point guards ever. Gotta go. Sorry.
Here's something I've heard, Tori. I appreciate that, Tori. That's a great point. He says you can cut Chris Paul and spread that $15 million over 3 years and only pay $5 million per year. Cut him now! What are we waiting for? Okay? If that's possible, cut him now. But here's one thing I did hear, and Gary doesn't want this. Spurs fan Gary does not want this to happen, but he's heard rumblings that the Spurs, they have the ability and potentially the desire to sign Chris Paul without it hurting them. Here's why. They have all the money in the world, Sundo. All the money and assets in the world. And they're going to want to try to see if they can sneak up and get Scoot as well, if they can make a package for the second or third pick and get Scoot to get that point guard pairing or whatever. But who better as a, you know what I'm saying, to run that offense for a young group and help everything, all their ducks be in a row. He's honestly, if you think about it, a Spur. He's a Spur. Yeah. He could be a really good Spurs player, and the money ain't gonna hurt them.
And Vogel and Pop will rest his players.
Yes, he will.
Pop will rest his players.
So that's just like one crack pipe option that I would hope for, you know, but cut him if you have to. Let's not do this. Let's not lie to ourselves. Let's save that money and actually be able to go out and use it to. We need so many players, Sundo. We need, and that includes if we want to bring back somebody like, I mean, do you want to bring back Jock Landale? I kind of do. I kind of do too. I want to bring back Busy.
I want to bring back Jock. Busy. Campaign's stuck, so we can't get rid of Campaign yet.
We've still got that.
Do you want to bring back D. Lee? I kind of like D. Lee off the bench as a shooter option. Do you want to bring back Terrence Ross? Rose?
I can do without. I can do with or without.
What is with the turn on Rose?
Well, he's not. I don't think Rose is going to be a minimum player. Yes, and true. There was this question about him. Is he a player that can get it done in the playoffs, or does he just do it for shit teams? Well, his answer in his first run and ability to play in the playoffs this season was no. He cannot get it done in the playoffs. He
didn't get a chance.
He didn't get much of a chance. If it's cheap, I bring him back. If it's cheap, what do you think about Okogie though? Do you want to see Okogie back?
I think Okogie with Frank Vogel sort of reining him in, per se. Mm-hmm. Of saying, hey, you don't have to shoot the open corner three every time. Like,
yeah,
reining him in a bit. Because that was kind of my issue with Monty was like, look, bro, you rein it in. Like, too many players have the green light to just shoot on this team all the time. Like, you don't have to tell Kogi, hey, if you're open, shoot it, or Ish Wainwright for that matter. Either, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think under a coach like Frank Vogel, who's going to be defensive minded, I think a player like Okogie and Ish Wainwright, even Ish Wainwright would be decent, and I keep them both. Yeah, for sure.
Theo says the bench is fine. We need starters. We don't have money. We don't have starter money. Do you got starter money, Theo?
I got starter fluid.
I mean, I guess we have the money, Theo. We have the money in the bank, but the new CBA will not allow. The new CBA is stricter than the old one. We're not going to be allowed to spend money the way we were. So that brings up Torrey Craig. I promise you, Torrey Craig is not going to be a minimum contract. Someone is going to give him more than the minimum deal. The way he played versus the Clippers.
Where's Aaron Holiday?
Oh, don't you go there. You see what I'm saying? Without moving or cutting Chris Paul or trading Ayton, that's what we're looking at. Let's just go
find every bench player that we liked for a minimum. So let's go get Aaron Holiday, Javon Carter. Let's go get who else? Whom else should we get? You know what I mean?
I want to bring back D. Lee, championship DNA D. Lee.
Also, don't forget we still have Darius Bays on the team.
We don't.
Unrestricted.
Is he? Okay. Well, maybe nobody's. Check to see if he's unrestricted or restricted. If he's restricted, that would be nice, because I don't know if a lot of people are going to throw a lot of money at Baisley. And maybe that's why we kept him on the bench the entire time, to keep his price down. and make it look like, like we tried to do with Sticks. James Jones says the bench is horrendous, the reason we lost. And he says Okogie's trash, get him out of here. So many better free agents. James Jones, but free agents in range of what we can afford? I mean,
he's restricted. He's restricted qualifying.
Okay. So maybe we're able to bring him back. Would you? What up, Roy? I would.
I mean, the qualifying offer is $6 million.
I think it's time we make our announcement, Sundo.
No, I'm not done talking about this.
We'll come right back. We're talented enough to come right back.
All right, we'll come right back.
We're going to come right back to this topic.
Are you ready?
But, I'll let you deliver the good news. First of all, hit that like for us, please, if you guys will.
I do not need to deliver the good news.
Help us out and slap that
what
like.
I do need to do is I need to rearrange this office and make it look a little bit
You don't have to.
nicer.
It's gonna look good.
I probably should. And why is that, Gabe?
Well, we are pleased to announce, and we are pleased to invite you all to join us. June 9th. We are talking 7 days away from now.
7 days.
We hope that you guys will join us live on Bleacher Report. They asked Sundo and I to do a kind of like a co-hosting stream that'll be live inside the Bleacher Report app, talking about hypothetical trade targets for the Suns. Trade targets, I guess, maybe draft picks, stuff like that. But
trade targets, draft picks, off-season topics, trade packages and whatnot.
Yeah, we'll be excited. We'll put out a news blast. We'll tweet it out and everything like that. We'll make sure we let you guys know. But we hope you guys will be able to join us for that. We're pretty stoked for it. Now, right back to what we were talking about. Do you want championship DNA or not?
D. Lee?
I feel like he got the rawest end of the deal.
Here's the deal. D. Lee grew on me at the end. So yes, I want D. Lee back. He grew on me because we were depending on him too much in the starting lineup when we had all those injuries. But when D. Lee came off the bench during some of those runs where I'm like, somebody's got to handle the ball and do the right things, please. And he was the guy to do the right things. And I was like, thank you, D. Lee.
You're naming the part I hate about him the most. I hate when he handles the ball.
I know, but remember whenever it was toward the end of the season because he didn't play much in the playoffs. Remember toward the end of the season where I'm like, get somebody on the court who's going to handle the rock or do the right things and not turn this ball over. And who was that guy?
Yeah.
So his basketball IQ is there. I will take D. Lee back. He will do the right things.
Here's how I recall D. Lee's season going. Game 1 of the year, he hits a crazy, unrealistic, never would happen again. If he shot it 99 more times, he'd have gone 1 for 100. Mid-range fadeaway buzzer beater versus the Mavs. Game 1. From that point on, yeah, and had me apologizing immediately. Then you fast forward to halfway through the season. We're at the halfway mark, and he's led the league the majority of the season with the highest three-point percentage. Now, he didn't take enough threes to really qualify, but his percentage was like 57, 58% from three. And then that dipped a little bit to like 54%. And at halfway through the season, he was like the third or fourth percentage-wise three-point shooter in the whole league. Then we make our trade. And Monty's like, no more. No more, sir. I don't need you. Don't look at me. Don't give me them puppy dog eyes like you want to come off the bench. It ain't happening. You're dead to me. I've got Terrence Ross. I'm going to get him worked up into a lather. I'm going to get T-Sizzle ready to go so that come playoff time, I can ice his ass too.
I was about to say,
you know,
didn't he ice T. Ross also during the playoffs? Or did it really matter?
So, like,
gosh, man,
when I'm thinking of cheaper people that you can bring back, he's on my list, man. He's not a great talented defender, but he's a willing defender. He takes charges. He hustles. I would be willing to see Saban Lee again for sure.
Willing.
Tori was saying if we're gonna cut Chris Paul, we might as well cut campaign 2. But and it is hard to make an argument.
Chris, I saw that too, and it made me think: Did Crowder have an issue with Monty?
Ooh.
Or did he have an issue? I saw that too. I saw the Jay Crowder thing, and I was like, really?
That's a good conversation to have, because I've been seeing people talk about Crowder back to the Suns, because
I would love to have Crowder back. He brought that attitude.
All right, go on.
He brought that attitude. He brought that dog. He also, had a big hand in keeping certain players in check and keeping their head straight. Need I say more? So
we're talking on a minimum deal here.
Whatever you can get him for, the least amount of money. What did he do in Milwaukee? Nothing?
I'm torn, bro, because I'm a forgiving man. I am. And if it was Monty, that explains a lot. But I feel like Jay Crowder is washed. He went to the Bucks. They got their backs broken by the Heat, and they didn't even play Crowder but a couple of games. Didn't he have 1 point in that run? Like, nothing. So we're going to bring him back and give him a role and expect, do you expect anything from Crowder?
Expect him to jack up threes and miss them, but
exactly.
But hey, let's see here. Blazers Uprise. Tori says the most the Suns will be able to spend in free agency is $12 million, and that's if they clear 35 plus in cap space and don't pay Craig Baisley much at all. The only way is DA sign and trade and cutting CP3 to get a lot of cap space. So there you go.
We're on to something with this cutting Chris Paul, bro. It's like, see what you can get. Did you see the hype video of him that came out yesterday? Year 18. Look at Chris Paul dribbling around. I'm sure he can do that now. But whisper the word playoffs into his ear and watch him crumble like his DNA has been deconstructed. Like dust. Like the movie Prometheus.
Oh, he has no for Kyrie.
Clear.
I don't want no Kyrie on this squad, dog. I just don't want Kyrie. I'm going to be honest with you. We do not need another ball-centric guard. Put Kyrie somewhere else. Let him go to LA for all I care.
I'm on the edge.
Don't need Kyrie. We have, if there's anything that we have learned through this playoffs, the whole big three is not a thing anymore.
I like that. I got no problems with that. That's actually probably right. Just saying, we need depth, not a big
the whole
three.
Big three is not a thing anymore. You're right. You need depth. Look at the Nuggets. They rotate 8, but every single one of those 8 are solid players. You have Joker and Murray. Those are your big 2. You have Michael Porter Jr., yes, who was a lottery pick and probably could have been the potential number 1 overall pick but he wasn't because of injury. Cool, fine. But Michael Porter Jr. is a role player at this point, a really solid one. to add to that, but a role player, right? At this point. Who else is Aaron Gordon? That's the rolliest of role players, right? Like Aaron Gordon's that dude. And then of course, KCP. Then you have Braun, Brown, and Green. Occasionally you'll see your boy Reggie Jackson. Nuggets have 3 all-stars. Who's the third? Porter Jr.?
Yeah, who's the third all-star?
Yeah, tell me who the third all-star is.
Kyrie is so boom or bust, and it's like he's gonna get paid apparently, and that's like trying to handle dynamite, bro. That's franchise dynamite in your hands, walking around. Try not to explode yourself.
He is the Aaron Rodgers of the NFL right now.
Damn, that's so true, bro.
Or he's the Aaron Rodgers of the NBA right now.
Yes.
Like, he says Gordon all-star level. Gordon's not. No. Like Gordon's
I don't
good,
think he's all-star level. He's like an all-star role player, that's for sure.
Like, but I do disagree with that, huh, my guy. I do disagree with that. But that doesn't, but to your point, that team is hella talented, but they only have two big guys, like the big two, and then the rest of the dudes are just dudes, right? That are really, really good dudes. But that's my point. Like the whole big three, I think, is over in the NBA. It's over. Like the Nuggets are proving this is how you can win this way.
Yeah, they're definitely a big two with depth. That's a big two with strong depth. Oh, yeah, that's true. So we do have Shamet. We've got to figure a way to get Shamet to Detroit.
I think he's gone. I think Shamet's gone. He was Monty's guy. I think anybody that Monty wanted to bring over there, including campaign, which hurts me to say.
Can you believe we gave up a first-round pick for him?
Yeah, and then when you're looking at all the players that you could have had with that pick, hurts, doesn't it?
It really does, and it makes me. So when people want to sit around and like act like there was no reason to fire Monty, there's your reason. Things like that.
Man, Monty really opted to trade the first round pick and give us more Nader and Shamet.
That's why I'm saying, like, he's not a developmental player. He was more of a let's go all in for the players I like, and any of these young players ain't getting minutes.
Yeah, but you got to give him the credit for the players that did develop under his tenure. Like that's what I'm trying to say.
That's true.
So like, even though it's the players that he likes, but he still will get young players to play well. He'll figure out how to get them to play well. It's just once he gets to that point. Like once they're to that point of, hey, we're playing well, this is a good team. Like, can he maintain that and can he make adjustments? And he didn't.
Style says, yeah, because Kyrie and Katie worked out so well for Brooklyn. There were extenuating circumstances. He did not like living in Brooklyn. The politics in Brooklyn, I don't think, suited Kyrie because he's a little bit too wild to be... he didn't want to get vaccinated, remember? And that's not kosher in Brooklyn. Speaking of kosher, the thing he posted,
yeah, he said some things.
Which whether you have a problem with that or not, the people of Brooklyn certainly had an issue with it, and so it was a bad city fit for him. I don't know that it would be the same in Phoenix. Maybe it would be. But I agree with you, bro. You've got your engine. You've got your scorers. Let's get some defensive players on this team, and let's get some three-point shooters.
So, I mean, you just need dudes that can you need guys that you're confident when Book and KD pass to in the corner, they're going to hit a shot. And they're not going to let dudes get by him on defense and rotate terrible. Just that simple. Like, and we said it at the beginning of the stream, after seeing what the Nuggets have done to literally everybody in this playoff run, I'm not feeling as bad about losing to them in 6 games as I did at the beginning. Also knowing that possibly we could have stole game 2 from them at home whenever Murray put up one of the worst games he's put up. And KD also decided to put the worst game that he put up, and we lost by 10 when we also had a sizable lead in game 2. So, like, the Suns are right there with the potential future NBA champion right now. So, like, it's not all bad after... No, hindsight's 2020. It's not all bad. The bad part is that we have no money and we got to be surgical about this shit. Blaze says, Sundo, I just don't know how you guys get those guys. It's going to be hard. James Jones has the toughest job in the league this summer. I agree. It's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. We got to hope that somebody wants Ayton. I think it starts with CP3 or somebody wants Ayton. It's as funny as it leaves my mouth. Ayton's the most attractive chip we have to barter with. But the thing is, some other team is going to think that, like Book of John in here was saying. Hold on. Han says he didn't trade Torrey Craig. He let him go. And then traded for him back. And not only did he trade back for him, he gave up Sticks, a former first round pick, and a second rounder. Yeah. So Sticks and a second rounder for Torrey Craig. I love Torrey Craig as much as the next guy, but Sticks and a second rounder for Torrey Craig was just mind blowing. The biggest thing that I hope the biggest change I think I want the Suns to make, the next move that would blow me out of the world, is if we could get Bob Myers, former GM, and send JJ's ass packing. Maybe, possibly, but I don't think it's gonna work. I think this is the Matt Ishbia show. I get that, but what if part of the Matt Ishbia show is letting JJ go and bringing in the guy that orchestrated the Warriors dynasty? And if you're not Bob Myers, he's not with them anymore. He's got a good relationship with KD. KD posted the other night, like I think it was last night or the night before, a picture of him with the trophy with Bob Myers. Mm. If you're Bob Myers and you're leaving the Warriors, what better open GM job, potentially, are you looking at other than the Suns? A team that he can actually build if he really wants to go that route. We need to be... I mean, it's tough. It's like, hey, could you come in here and, perform baboon heart surgery? It's really difficult, but it can be done. Yeah, right. It's a tough job, but it's a... you've got a true billionaire owner who's willing to pay whatever it takes to get things done. And I think it would come with, like... high and low expectations. High expectations in that you're supposed to build a winner, but low expectations is in, look, we know that you're up against it, and this is really tough right now for you. This is going to be a really tough job. He's going to the Clippers, apparently, everybody's saying. Bob Myers is going to the Clippers. Is he? So, he going to the Clippers. Is he? How do we know? How serious is that? Say it's a done deal. Damn, bruh. What do the Clippers got that we don't got except for a good coach? I guess we got a good coach now. That's not even true anymore. A good coach. I was thinking they don't have Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi's knees have Kawhi Leonard. They got Paul George and Russell Westbrook. He said his knees got him. I mean, man. Okay. Yeah, that's true, Tori. It's not a bad point. What's going on, McCoy? TJ Warren. Ooh. I think TJ could be a team-friendly deal. I don't think Is he a free agency? Is he a free agent?
The reason I feel like I know he's a free agent is because the only players we have under contract is Ishboy Wainwright and Campaign.
He was. Base salary $2 million this past year. I think we can get TJ Warren for that.
Do you want him?
I mean, yes. Yeah.
Me too.
He's only 29, Gabe. That's the crazy part.
I know.
He's 50.
And he was coming off of an injury. He showed spurts. How about a whole offseason of being healthy and then a whole training camp in a new system? And we need production. I could see us getting 8 to 10 points a game from TJ next year.
Yeah. I do like the idea of keeping him as well. Han with the $5 super chat. Vince Circle. What do you guys think about Van Vliet? Too small and ball dominant for 40 mil?
As far as being too small and ball dominant, I would do it because as an upgrade over Chris Paul, it's definitely an upgrade. I just don't think we're going to have the money to get anything like that done. I don't think that could financially be done. Right?
Thank you, Tori. Love you for that one. Open up my guy's spreadsheet. Tori with the clutch spreadsheet. Appreciate you, my guy. We're gonna look at that. Han says TJ kind of has a rep of sulking teammate. He kind of does, but also I feel like he likes Phoenix and has fond memories here. He even said it when he came back.
Yeah.
He really enjoyed being there. So
he gets to stay in a great city, the city that drafted
go ahead
him.
And steal this from Blazers Uprise and save it.
He's beloved, okay, in Phoenix for the most part. He's going to have the city behind him, and it would be a great place for him to have a prove it year. What do you call it? Can't go back All Stars?
Can't go back All Stars. Yep, can't go back.
Yes.
Gabe, did you open this link?
No.
Open this link. This is clutch from my guy Tori, and look at these lists. And there are some names on here that are interesting. Interesting names.
Such as
Reggie Jackson. I'm talking dudes like with where their salaries were. This is crazy. Such as let me see here. Dennis Schroeder, Dennis Smith Jr., Matthew Dellavedova.
No.
My dad's a coach, bro.
No.
Aaron Holiday, D. Lee, Gabe Vincent, dude. Trey Jones. Like, dude, there's some names on this list that you can get with these salaries. And that'll probably get more, heading out, obviously. But Frank
This is a bad list, bro.
This is so bad.
This is a depressing list. Let me tell you guys.
Cam Reddish.
I would take Cam Reddish if it was cheap.
DiVincenzo, give me that.
Hey, but he's gonna demand a little bit of money because he looked good. He's not gonna be on a, Let me tell you guys who the best looking free agent is on this list. D'Angelo Russell. Jesus Christ.
Hold on. Think about it, though. Think about it. Come on, there's some names.
Trey Jones. Trey Jones. That's where I'm going. Number one is I'm going after Trey Jones from the Spurs.
Trey Jones. All right. I'm just telling you right now, if I'm me, don't care. I'm getting every Holiday. I'm getting Justin Holiday on the cheap.
No.
I'm getting Aaron Holiday on the cheap, just by name alone.
I'll bring back Ty Jerome.
While we're at it.
Let's bring back Ty Jerome and Dwayne Washington.
Let's go ahead and get Will Barton while we're at it. Toscano Anderson's going to get more money probably.
Not doing it. Ain't getting fooled.
Kelly Oubre for 12 mil. Okay.
See, that's all of the money we would maybe be able to scrounge up just for
Miles
Kelly.
Bridges.
I want Kelly back.
Out of the league, he says.
You want Miles Bridges?
Well, I'm just looking at what Tori put in the spreadsheet. It's just out of the league? Question mark. Go get me Giannis's brother. Go get him. Why not?
No. And no to Goran Dragic since he's 45 now, probably.
And go get me 45-year-old Andre Iguodala too.
No.
Go get Iggy.
This is a terrible list.
I know.
Now, there is one name on there that I will slurp from now till next Sunday that I just noticed.
Jalen McDaniels?
No. Slurpier.
Go Ingles.
Javon Carter.
Oh, I knew it. I knew you saw that name.
Javon Carter was making $2 million last year. Please bring a defensive point guard in a defensive system.
What if I told you that Torrey Craig played so bad his value goes down, or we can get him cheaper than $5?
I think he worked his value up.
I don't know.
Don't you?
I don't know.
He played outstanding versus the Clippers and then got benched.
Hear me out. What if we could get Miles Bridges on the cheap because of his drama?
Can I tell you something? I don't have a soul. And it comes down to, is somebody else going to get Miles Bridges on the cheap? Because if somebody else is getting Miles Bridges on the cheap, I want to be the guy getting Miles Bridges on the cheap. And I want to hope for the best that this is that maybe, I don't know the super specifics of that case. It didn't look good. It didn't sound good. Haydot says Bucks won't let Javon Carter go. They got a new coach coming in. Maybe the new coach doesn't value Javon Carter.
Only going to miss 10 games next season. Miles Bridges.
He's what?
He's only going to miss 10 games.
Next
season. Give me Javon Carter on the cheap. Go get Miles Bridges for pennies.
Miles Bridges is a near, if not all-star. And if you're getting him on the cheap,
it's just such a bad look.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
It's such a bad look.
But is somebody else gonna get to play him for $1 million a year? Because that would be more terrible. What's more terrible is he beats his baby mama and then goes to the Lakers. That'd be more terrible.
It is Phoenix.
I mean,
man,
we're talking about winning games.
Bro. It's still a bad look, dude. It's still a bad look. It's still a bad look. I don't know if you can do it.
I could do it. If somebody's going to be allowed to push that button, I'm pushing the button. Tell me somebody's going to get Tell me somebody's going to get him for under $2 million a year. Okay? And watch how quick. You know?
I'll give you 3 real quick. Get over here. Like, my gosh.
I want you to see a psychiatrist.
But dude, this list is bad, especially when you see like players like Max Strus going to get more money. Cam Reddish, Lonnie Walker's going to get more money for sure. Dylan Brooks.
Bro, I would take Dylan Brooks at this point. But he's going to cost too much, I think.
I don't know, man. I think maybe he played himself out. He wasn't good.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And he's not he's like Pat Bev, who's also on this list for $5K. You're telling me you wouldn't take Pat Bev on your team at this point, too?
I'll never take Pat Bev. That's the one time I will let emotion override reason.
Well, I'm here to tell you, I'd take Pat Bev.
I respect it. I would take
Pat Bev at this point, bro. That's how bad this is looking. That's how dire this is looking. Thank you, Tori, for giving me this list that depressed me. Go get Dennis Smith Jr. Like, bro, we're just getting the heap of former first round busts. Michael Carter Williams is on this list.
Is this all of the free agents, or is this
Yes.
just the ones that are?
These are UFUs. These are free agents, you know, and he's got their current salaries right here.
God, this is
his
the most
spreadsheet.
depressing
Totally
list I've
real
ever
thorough,
seen. This is so depressing.
At this point, you might as well re-sign Biyombo for cheap, like Roy just said.
Oh, I
Torrey
didn't
says
scroll
he'll take
over.
Bridges, but
I only
says he'll
saw the
take-
guards.
Oh, yeah, you're really, Gabe.
I mean, I'm a bit of a boomer here, so let's
I'm
take a
saying all these
look.
other names, bro. Torrey says you'll take Bridges, but not Pat Bev.
Okay.
Got a point. He's got a point, Gabe.
I said I was going to let emotion override reason. What do you want from
I
me?
didn't have a heart, he says.
You know? But he tried to snap Chris Paul's back. No for Dragic, because that man keeps turning us down. He keeps looking at us and snubbing us. Turning his nose up.
He says this list is projected because, you know, options and stuff. But we'll just go ahead and say this is the list, right? Because most of the players on this list is probably going to happen. Let's just be honest.
We got to talk about JaVale McGee, because JaVale McGee won a title as the rim protector for he's not I don't know if he's on the list, but I guarantee you the Mavs are going to cut his ass.
He's got the big list right here.
If they don't trade him, because they do not want him.
Hayes. Oh,
don't tase me. I would consider Jackson. Don't tase me, bro. Hayes. But JaVale McGee, I haven't wanted him back, but he was Vogel's guy with the Lakers. They won a title together. We're looking at cheap options, or my choice. What my true choice is no on JaVale. Just keep Busy, because I think Busy can be just as good of a stopper as JaVale.
Would you want Dario Saric back?
If we could get him cheap, I would slurp him to get him back. Are you kidding me?
I agree.
Absolutely. He made $8 million last year, though. Thad's getting a little long in the tooth for me. You know?
Man, I'm just going through this list, bro.
I'd take Myers Leonard.
Naz Reid.
Naz Reid is an actual baller. He's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid.
Here's my favorite on this list. Bring him back for the legend, Frank the Tank Kaminsky.
Do you see how depressing this is?
Cody Zeller. Oh. Myers Leonard, Willie Cauley-Stein, bro.
Never. I'm shocked he's even on the list, because I thought he was out of the league.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Out of these bigs, it's literally Bismack and Jock, the only two I like. Jock's restricted though, so we can keep Jock easily. What's the qualifying offer for Jock Landale?
That's a good question. We're gonna have to look
I'm
into
looking it
that
up right now. Jock Landale contract. Shout out to sportstrack.com. I love you. Qualifying offer is $2 million.
Yeah. If somebody offers him $2 million, I would match it. I would match it for sure for Jock, because he showed the ability to play in the playoffs. He didn't go crazy stat wise, but he looked like somebody I definitely did not mind as a backup out there. What more can you ask for?
What's Ish Wainwright's?
I think he's under contract. Remember, halfway through the season, we gave him a 2-year deal.
Yeah, they gave him a deal, right?
Yeah.
So he's still going to be here.
We've got him already.
Well, I'll take it. I think you bring back Bismack. I think you bring back Jock. You're going to have Ish. I think you trade Shamet for whatever you can get for him.
Or cut.
Darius Bays is going to be interesting if they do the qualifying offer for him. That's going to be $6 million. At that point, bro, you really just need some guards or some wings that'll hit buckets. That's it.
everybody by this point knows.
TJ Warren.
Everybody knows what the definition of insanity is. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. What does that sound like, if not going into next season with Chris Paul and Campaign as your two guards? I mean, just blow up the team facilities now and move the team to Canada.
Look, Vision, I'm banking on it. I'm banking on Monty making the Detroit trade for Landry Shamet. I'm banking on that. Torrey Jones says the entire offseason comes back to getting asses for a center who's on a max contract and got benched for Jock Landale on the playoffs. Look, we know, Torrey. Shh. We're really hoping that somebody really just looks at Ayton and sees that he's quote unquote 7-1. I had an argument with my buddy saying that Ayton's 7-1. I'm like, he's not 7-1. But regardless, like, your hope is somebody's going to say Ayton's still talented. He's got potential. We'll unlock it and trading for him. That's really your hope. Are there GMs out there? Or are there teams out there who really think that he might be that dude? We'll wait and we'll have to wait and see.
Tough Plays says, yeah, if the two main point guards are CP3 and Payne, we are not winning. They are both so injury prone. But on top of being injury prone, Chris Paul is cursed by Satan and God. God and Satan got together for the first time in a long time and did business when they simultaneously casted 2 spells on Chris Paul to make sure he couldn't play in the playoffs. And he's injury prone.
I hope Dallas has one of them. Yeah, but I think we got to. Wait a minute. What is Shaman's contract?
I think he's getting like $12 million. Clint says, I'm wondering if Boston might be interested in CP3. Horford is basically a salary match. Ayton and Shamet, Turner, McConnell. CP3 for Horford, McConnell, Booker, Durant, Horford, and Turner. Those players.
No one's going to want that contract, bro.
Yeah.
He is guaranteed $10 million this year. 10 and a quarter.
We got to free that up.
He's guaranteed 10 and a quarter. Detroit,
Torrey,
help us, Detroit.
Torrey,
help us, Detroit. You're our only hope.
Seriously. Torrey, if we cut Shamet, how does splitting that work? Can we split that over 3 years? What's going on, Young Hove? Said, don't the Pacers still want Ayton? That's a possibility. And if they do, bye-bye.
Turner.
You know? In that deal, I'm looking for McConnell because I would rather have somebody like Nembhard, but they're not going to give him up. So McConnell and Turner for Ayton and a second-round pick, or Ayton and Payne and a second-round pick, or Ayton and Shamet and a second-round pick, only because we don't have firsts, you know. Not that I would want to give up a first, but money. We need money. For the love of God.
How much is he owed, he says.
How much is he owed over the long, or over for long?
He signed the contract, what? It was 19 mil. We'll say 20 mil because you round that up. 20 mil guaranteed at signing.
Sons Waterboy said, I think the Lakers would take CP3. They
42 and a half over 4 years.
That'd be a lot of age for the Lakers.
And he signed it last year in 2022. Ugh.
Chris Stewart says Boston might want Paul. Oh my God. Imagine a trade for like. But see, they've got Robert Williams, who I think is fantastic. And they're not going to give us Robert Williams. So it'd be like Ayton and Chris Paul for, dude, would you do Marcus Smart and Brogdon? I would, for Ayton and CP3. I just don't think I don't think they would be stupid enough to do that.
He believes it's, yeah, he's guaranteed 10 mil this year. That's it. After this year, his contract's not guaranteed unless we keep him after the deadline. So 10.5 over the next 5 years. Okay, I'll take that. That's $2 million a year, right?
Yeah.
So if you cut him, you only owe him $2 million for the next. Bro, can you imagine just being owed $2 million over 5 years?
Just knowing, yeah.
Gosh, how nice would that be?
It'd be incredible.
Shoot, I would cut him for $2 million a year if it saved you space. Cut him and CP3.
And just bank on the fact that players are going to want to come play with KD and Book. You know? But it really is. The more you look at it, it's a really tough job. If you think about it,
you cut Shamet. He says 3.4 over 3 or 2 or 5 over 5. I mean, that's the length of Booker and KD's contract. You might as well.
Quan said, Ayton and a pick for Peyton Pritchard. Oscar, CP3 for Trey. They don't want CP3's old, decrepit ass, unfortunately. Vision said, do you think we can keep Ross? What do you think, man? Do I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but do you think that they can, and do you think that we should?
It's what the market dictates. You know what I'm saying? Like, this free agency, like, if the market dictates that we can keep him, if nobody wants him, yeah.
I'm on the fence with him. He was really good in the regular season for us. It's just, is it Monty's fault for icing him or not? That's the question.
Yeah.
Guys, we got 88 watching. Hit that like button for us, please. Take a second, man. Go down there and see if you can hit that like button.
It's 100% Monty's fault, bro. Ross was playing well, and then he iced him, and then when Ross came in for the playoffs, he was garbage.
And then he tried to turn back to D. Lee like, oh, hey, D. Lee, do you still want to play? Like, oh, thanks. I've been sitting down for 2 months after leading the league in three-point percentage, but now you want me? Sure, I'll go out there and get cooked. We really started Landry Shamet.
I think it's possible. I think it's possible that we can make some moves, but there's going to be a lot of gymnastics. Like Tori said, there's going to be a lot of moving and cutting and figuring it out. But I think if there's somebody who's good with money and who has players that are good with money, it's Ishbia, and I think he'll figure it out.
Tori says, do you want Ross playing in the playoffs next year? I wouldn't mind seeing a Terrence Ross that gets to play the whole season with the Suns and then gets to play in the playoffs from the beginning and see, you know what I mean? I agree. I'm not trying to say that. I don't think it was all Monty's fault. I think a little bit of it was Ross not being ready for the moment. But I'd like to see these players get a second crack at it.
Here's what I have right now on Suns contracts. So far, who we have on contract, not cap holds or anybody who's getting, free agencies, whatever. God, we got a lot of cap holds. That's crazy. Durant, Booker, Ayton, CP3, Shamet, Payne, Ish. That's who's currently on this roster.
Bare bones.
Oh my gosh, bro. Shamet's guaranteed 10. Payne's guaranteed 6. It's partially guaranteed though. CP3's partially guaranteed. And then Ish is guaranteed his money because he just signed. So we're not getting rid of that. So,
and who wants Ish Wainwright? Who the hell would trade for Ish Wainwright if it's not filler? Like, we're giving you a DA and we're tossing in Wainwright to make the money work.
So campaign remaining guaranteed is $2 million. Is that really worth cutting him to save $2 million at this point? Not really. You know what I mean? Like, now you got to start thinking about that stuff. Like, if you cut him, basically you're trying to save a vet minimum for a player who's probably going to play just as well as Campaign. So you're probably not going to cut Campaign. Shamet's the only one to cut, in my opinion, in the starting lineup if you really want to do that. CP3 is partially guaranteed, so he's got to go. You cut him or whatever. Oh, this is so bad, though.
Chris Stewart says, guys like Dario, Jay, and Javon are familiar with the organization. Feels right. I agree. My question is, are those guys, I know Jay's going to be, he's only going to cost the price of a Costco hot dog.
Thank you.
To bring him so we could get him. We might be able to get Javon, but people are saying that the Bucks aren't going to let him go. And the other thing with the whole like bringing familiar faces back, that was familiar to Monty. That's not familiar to Vogel. Vogel don't have no loyalties to the Vogel. Don't know who the hell those guys are. Who? You had Who Carter here? Joanna Man? I don't know that name. So I don't know if we're going to be, but I would like those guys. I would like Dario and Javon back for sure.
All right, so
the owner doesn't even have ties to those guys.
$2 million stretch over. Okay, I got you, Tori. So yeah, I mean, campaign, you'd save some money. CP3, you definitely save some money. Sham it, you won't at that point. Ugh. It's bad, bro.
It's a tough spot, bro. So you're really hoping against hope that somebody comes in and says, hey, we like Ayton. We want to rehabilitate him. Here's value. That's what you're really hoping for. And I don't think that that's as ridiculous as a lot of people will think, because he's like 25 years old, 24, 25 years old. He has shown that he can be actually kind of dominant in the playoffs. He had a dominant run in the playoffs half of the time for 2 runs. Is that fair?
It's fair. But yeah, he's got, it's definitely, I mean, I'm cool with Ayton and CP3 being gone, but.
Absolutely.
But man, it's tough.
I mean, Book has made it kind of obvious by saying 36 unbothered. Like, me and the only 2 that matter on this team, we don't care. We don't care what happens. We don't care that Monty got let go. We're fine. Not us plus Ayton. Not us and Chris Paul.
Still mad at him for not talking to the media, by the way.
That was Bush League.
But whatever. That being said, it's 10:30. It's time for your boy to go to bed.
Well, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Make sure to hit the like button before you leave. Once again, Sundo and I, big announcement, June 9th.
June 9th.
7 days from now.
In the Phoenix Suns channel.
On Bleacher Report.
Bleacher Report.
Suns Valley Podcast will be co-hosting a live stream on Bleacher Report in the app.
Yes.
Please try to remember. We'll put out a couple reminders here and there, but we really want you guys to show up for that. And Oscar with a $2 dono says, D's nuts. Well said, Oscar. Well said. We'll see you guys. Before then, we're going to put out some videos, right, Sundo? Sundo's got a video.
Gonna work on one.
He's going to work on one, he says. And no, Roy, Bleacher Report's free. And, of course, the stream will be free, you know? But we'll see you guys on some videos here. We'll see you guys on Twitter and in the Discord. Let us know if you guys want to get in the Discord. If you're not already, we'll get you guys a link. And, man, we'll definitely see you in a week, if not before then.
Sir.
It's weird not having, like, a sign-off thing. You know, there's, like, no sign-off.
I know. I got to make him. I got to make the intro and then the outro. We'll get that done this offseason.
Let's just say,
for sure.
Suns hire Vogel! Suns hire Vogel! We didn't even want Nurse! We didn't want Nurse!
Guess what? Now we got to take a giant L with this offseason because we have terrible contracts. So Suns lose!